My family canceled on my birthday dinner one by one. I ate alone, then found their selfies at a dog's party. That night, I cut them off. So, they didn't even try to come up with a new excuse, they just copy-pasted the same one like I wouldn't catch on. Anyway, I'm Nathan, 32 years old, and I've never been the life of the party. I'm more of the behind-the-scenes guy. I'm the one showing up, footing the bill, grabbing your dry cleaning, and somehow always ending up as the designated driver at every family gathering. And honestly, these gatherings don't even start as events, they just magically turn into one. I was never the star child, that role was usually taken by my cousin Tasha or maybe my brother Owen, or really whoever was having a dramatic moment that month. But I was the reliable one, the one everyone seemed to appreciate when rent was due or when they needed my Netflix password. It's funny how you go from being a part of the family to just being their financial safety net without even realizing it. At first, you think, oh, they're just having a rough time, and you step in to help because that's what family's about, right? But then, when your birthday comes around, they all magically have plans that don't include you. This all started about 2 weeks before my birthday when I sent out a friendly invite in the family group chat. Hey, thinking of doing a birthday dinner. Nothing fancy, just a table at Amiki's next Friday. Let me know if you can make it. I even threw in that I'd cover the bill, but that was no surprise, I've been the one picking up the tab for years. They stopped even pretending to reach for their wallets ages ago. Replies were slow, mostly the usual thumbs up emojis or the I'll try to be there for my mom, which was basically code for I won't, but I don't want to argue. By the day of, only my Aunt Rhonda and her husband Paul said they'd come. Even then, Rhonda messaged the night before, if Paul's gout doesn't act up, we'll see you then, sweetheart. Somehow, I didn't catch the hint. I dressed up, ironed my nicest shirt, and told the hostess we'd need a big table, maybe for 10 or more. She gave me this polite smile and seated me by the window, with enough settings to suggest, optimism. At 6 p.m., I was there, sipping water alone. At 6:15, my brother texted, hey man, something came up. We'll celebrate another time. I read it again. It felt so cold, no real explanation, no sorry, no nothing. Then, one by one, my mom, my uncle, my cousin, everyone, sent the exact same message. It was like they were all part of some uninspired group project. I stuck around, ordered some random pasta dish, hoping someone would show up. No one did. I paid the bill, left a good tip, and walked out with a doggy bag in this quiet fury that felt like a block of ice in my chest. Outside, the parking lot was nearly empty. I sat in my car, scrolling my phone just to kill time, and then I saw it. My cousin Tasha's Instagram story, happy bark day, Nibbles. There was my whole family, even the dog, celebrating. My mom with a slice of cake, Owen tying a bow on the dog's collar, my aunt with a champagne glass. They all had something come up for a dog party. I sat there, not even sure how long, but eventually, I just did it. I opened my banking app and canceled all the auto pays, mom's rent, Owen's temporary loan, my aunt's phone bill. Gone. Then on to the utilities, gas, power, water, off. Not right then, but by morning they'd wake up to their own silence, not the peaceful kind. Lastly, I took the spare key to Owen's Audi, the one I helped him get back on his feet with, and pocketed it. I drove home with the headlights off, just me and the dark streets. I didn't send any messages, didn't blow up the group chat, didn't demand answers. Let them wonder. The next morning, the calls started rolling in. My phone buzzed with questions, worries about the utilities, questions from Owen about why I was overreacting. Overreacting? That word stuck in my head. Later, I saw my mom's cryptic Facebook status, some people will punish you just for not being available on their schedule. Remember, family isn't conditional. It got 4 likes and 1 snarky comment. So, I got this text from Rhonda the other day, and she said something like, maybe if you showed him some appreciation, he'd still answer your calls. I didn't fire back right away. I was too caught up going through all the stuff that's under my name, insurance policies, gym memberships, car registrations. That's when it hit me. I wasn't part of the family, I was their support system. I was the one keeping the lights on and paying the bills, and I was about to walk away. That night, my phone went nuts with calls, texts, and these long, rambling voicemails. Some were mad, others were begging. My brother kicked one off with, look, man, and then it turned into this whole guilt trip about how I always held money over everyone, like being the responsible one was somehow a crime. My mom left 2 messages, one super sweet, Nathan, honey, this isn't like you. We all love you. Please call me. And the next one, 2 hours later, was a whole different story, calling me out for punishing my own mom. A new low for me? I needed to think it over. I needed to keep my cool and not just cut ties immediately. I wanted to make them realize just how much I supported them and how little they deserved it. I made a list. First up was the phone plan under my name. I didn't even warn them, I just removed them from the account and waited for the confirmation email. I pictured my cousin Tasha at the dog park, freaking out when her Instagram stopped loading. My uncle yelling at his phone before he realized it wasn't working anymore. And Owen, my brother, blaming the service provider, classic Owen. Then, the car. I let him keep it for a while, let him feel normal. On Saturday night, I parked a bit down the street, walked to his driveway, and drove off with it. The spare key still worked, and it wasn't locked. Left a sticky note on his other car, the one he never uses because it's missing a tail light. Consider this a budget cut. By Monday, the drama spilled onto Facebook. Owen posted, "Family means loyalty," implying I'm too good for them now that I earn more. No tags, of course. Only the brave do that. But people in the comments knew he meant me. His girlfriend even chimed in with "You deserve better, babe." Better than what, though? A brother who took care of their bills, helped them move, covered medical expenses? I stayed quiet. Instead, I emailed my mom's landlord. Well, technically, it was my duplex, but the lease was under my name. It was a no-rent deal, just helping out family, right? For 4 years, I kept up with taxes, maintenance, all that. But now, she had 30 days to vacate or start paying real rent. I didn't even send her an email, but I knew it would get to her. And it did, judging by her fiery email with the subject, "Wow, really? Yeah, really." It was like poking a beehive. Suddenly, I was the bad guy, cruel, heartless. My mom, brother, cousin, they all had different takes on the story, trying to make it sound like I was abandoning them over one mistake. One mistake. Funny, because when I scrolled through old texts, there were loads of them. Like the time Owen asked me to co-sign his car loan for a new job, then quit 3 weeks later to jump on the crypto bandwagon. Or when Tasha cried over her vet bill but then posted spa trip selfies. Or when mom called me in tears because the water got shut off again, and I sent money without asking questions. Every time, I didn't ask. I just trusted and ended up drained. And the worst part was the guilt, thinking I'd be the villain if I stopped helping. That I was being selfish. That I was the problem. But standing in the dark hallway of my apartment, with my phone buzzing nonstop, I knew things had to change. I stopped answering calls, and that's when it hit me: guilt trips only work if you think you owe someone. But I didn't. Not anymore. Just when things started to calm down, there was this knock on my door. It wasn't loud, just a steady rhythm. I opened it to find Owen. He looked rough, like he hadn't slept. His hoodie was half zipped, eyes all red, but not from tears, from stress. He was holding his phone, hands shaking a bit. He skipped the hellos. "You took my car," was all he said. I leaned on the door frame and shot back, "Technically, my car, but go on." His jaw clenched. "This isn't how you fix stuff, dude." I almost laughed. Fix stuff? Like how you guys ditched me on my birthday for a dog's party? That wasn't the plan. Tasha said it was just gonna be a few people and I cut him off. "Save it. You could have called." Didn't. Could have sent a real text. Didn't. Could have shown up at M.E. Cheese. Didn't. But now you want to talk just 'cause the gravy train's off the track? He looked hurt. Good. He rubbed his temple. "Look, we messed up, I get it. But you don't have to torch everything to make a point." I stared him down. "Nope, don't have to. I want to." Then I shut the door, knowing it wasn't over. Not even close. They were desperate now. Desperate folks make moves they can't undo. The next move wasn't from Owen. 3 days after that knock, I found a thick envelope in my mailbox. No return address, just my name in familiar handwriting. Inside was a letter, 2 handwritten pages and a faded photo of me, around 5 or 6, smiling with a birthday cake and my mom behind me, hands on my shoulders. The letter began with, "I don't know when you became so cold, Nathan, but I miss my son." It went on about my childhood, all the sacrifices she made, like working nights to get me a bike, and how all she ever asked for was love and understanding. She talked about losing dad too early and how tough it was raising us alone. Then, she made her point. "You always got it, Nate. That made you special. You were the strong one. Never complained, just helped." That hurt more than I thought it would because she was right. I did help, but not out of strength, out of obligation, fear, this twisted belief that if I didn't carry their burdens, no one would, and maybe they wouldn't care for me if I didn't. She ended with, "I hope you find your way back to this family before it's too late. We still love you, even if you've forgotten how to love us back." It was a guilt bomb wrapped in nostalgia. For a second, it worked. I felt those old strings tugging. Then I looked at the photo again. It wasn't how I remembered it. That birthday ended with me crying, cake smashed because Owen threw it off the table, jealous I got the bigger present. And Mom scolded me for causing a scene. That photo was just a snapshot of the day before it all blew up. Now it was being used to pull me back in. That was my breaking point. The next morning, I packed up the photo and letter, dropped them on her porch without a word. Just silence, sent back to sender. But silence didn't last. The very next week, they upped their game. Sent someone to talk to me, more like ambush me. It was at this local cafe I hit up on Thursdays during lunch. Sticking to my routine was my mistake. I was there, sipping my Americano and reading a book when I heard a voice I hadn't heard in years. "A book? Still acting like you're too smart for everyone, huh?" Looked up and there he was, Uncle Darren. If you've ever met someone who's full of themselves, you'd know the type. He'd been cut off from half the family for borrowing money he never paid back but always crawled back when drama hit, like a vulture. He didn't ask, just plopped down in the chair across from me like we were old pals. I told them not to send a letter. Said Nate's a man. You talk to a man face to face. But your mom, she's got a soft heart. That woman raised you. I didn't say a word. I was just staring at him, super calm and expressionless. I guess he took my silence as a sign to carry on. "Look," he started, "I don't know what kind of tantrum you're throwing or what someone said to get you this worked up, but you're really hurting the people who love you. Your mom's a mess, and your brother's crashed on my couch. Are you really going to keep this up?" I slowly blinked at him. Is this the part you were sent to say, or is this guilt trip just a little something extra? His smirk kind of faltered. "I'm here because I care," he insisted. "But keep this up, and you'll end up really alone, Nathan. That's not what family does." I leaned in closer. "No," I said, "that's exactly what my family does. They act like silence is love, pretend obligation is connection, and think guilt is some kind of currency." He sat back, his mouth twitching. "I'm not the bad guy here," he muttered. I shot back, "You were never even part of the story," picking up my cup. He didn't leave quietly, he huffed, mumbled something under his breath, and even knocked over the creamer tray on his way out. The barista shot me a look, and I just shrugged it off and went back to my book. But that wasn't the end of things, just the beginning of the drama. 2 days later, I got a bank notification. Someone was trying to log into my account repeatedly. Password reset requests, denied access. I changed everything, locked it all down, contacted my bank, and put alerts on all my accounts. Growing up with these people, I knew how desperate they could get when things didn't go their way. Then came a text from Owen, confirming it all. "You think you're better than us? Fine. Just remember who changed your diapers, who fed you. You owe us everything. And when mom's gone, don't show up crying." I stared at that message for a long time. That last line, it was their favorite guilt tactic. A warning wrapped in a threat. They still thought they could manipulate me, thought love meant being indebted. But not anymore. This time, I wasn't just walking away, I was cutting them out completely. No chance for them to spin it on Facebook. They were about to see what life without me looks like. I didn't respond to Owen's message, not with a text, call, or word. Instead, I logged into the financial software I use for my consulting. I'd set up all these recurring payments and family-linked accounts. For years, I had folders like family support with subcategories for everyone I was helping. Mom utilities. Owen's auto. Tasha pet emergencies. What was meant to be short-term help became a permanent crutch. They never asked when it would stop, they just assumed it wouldn't. That day, I deleted the entire folder. But I wasn't stopping there. I spent the next week setting up my final move, not revenge, not drama, just something clear and permanent. I sold the duplex where my mom was living. Yep, it was totally in my name. I bought it after landing a big client, told her it was a temporary fix after a bad investment. But there was never a move-out plan, never talk of rent, no gratitude. It became a symbol of entitlement, and I was done with it. I didn't evict her, I sold it to a developer buying up the area, got way above market value, signed the papers, and let it all unfold. 2 weeks later, she got the notice from the new owners. I expected chaos, but there was silence for 3 days. Then came her voicemail. Calm and cold, "So that's it. You're just cutting me out like I'm nothing, after all I did raising you. You sold my home over a birthday dinner? No apology, no mention of all the lies and manipulation. To her, I was the traitor, just because I chose myself. I let her message sit unanswered, like all the others. But I wasn't done. I filed paperwork to untangle every legal connection I had with them. No more co-signed accounts, no more shared plans. I even changed the life insurance beneficiary, realizing Owen was still listed. I donated the car I took back from him, didn't sell it, just donated it since he'd trashed it anyway. I switched phone numbers too, new SIM, new carrier. The new number went to just 3 people, my best friend, my boss, and my therapist. And then, I moved on. So, I didn't move far, just enough to start fresh. Got myself a new spot in a building with a security gate, real fancy stuff where nobody gets in unless you buzz them up. I kept it low-key, didn't broadcast the change. Just kind of vanished from their radar. They weren't thrilled about it. My cousin Tasha flipped out and threw a fit on Instagram, ranting about family members forgetting their roots. It was clearly aimed at me. She even posted a pic holding a teary-eyed kid, captioning it with some drama about Uncle Nate not caring anymore. I nearly cracked up. Then there's Owen, who took it up a notch. He went and found a mutual buddy, trying to get them to pass me a message. The friend wasn't having any of it and just told him straight up, he doesn't owe you squat. My mom, though, took a different approach. She started up with the weekly letters again, all handwritten. They weren't apologies, more like fake sympathy. She'd start all nice, then sneak in some gaslighting, like, I never meant to hurt you, but you were always sensitive, or I just wish you remembered all I did for you. Sometimes, she'd throw in old photos of happier days with Owen and me. I burned the first one, trashed the second, and after the 5th, I didn't even bother opening them. Then, out of nowhere, it all stopped. No more letters or calls. For the first time ever, I felt free without a load of guilt on my shoulders. With my newfound freedom, I hit the gym, picked up writing after years, and volunteered at a nonprofit for foster kids. They were super impressed with how I handled finances and spreadsheets, but I never spilled the beans on why I was so good at it. It didn't matter anymore. About 3 months later, I bumped into Owen at a strip mall. He looked rough, thinner, older, worn out shoes, just tired. He spotted me, and for a moment, we locked eyes. He just walked over, not in a hurry, just drained. Hey, he greeted. I said nothing. He dropped his gaze and muttered, you're really gone. I just nodded. He started to leave but turned back to say Mom still checks the mailbox, hoping I'd write back. I told him, she already got everything I had to give. He didn't argue, just gave a nod and walked off. That was it, no big movie ending or apologies to make everything okay. Just me, finally free. On my last birthday with them, I was alone and miserable in a restaurant. But my first birthday after cutting ties, I was in my new place, enjoying my favorite takeout, chatting with real friends on video calls. No guilt or pretending, just pure peace. As I closed my laptop that night, it hit me that leaving wasn't the hardest part. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. And hit the notification bell to stay updated with more crazy real life stories happening around you.